Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Chips and Talk. Grab a snack. Let's chat. This is episode 31 of the critically acclaimed podcast series. I don't know. Is it critically acclaimed? I don't think so. It's not commercially acclaimed either. But fuck it. We'll just say it is because fuck it. We are a fucking cult. That is what we are, the Chips cult. Chips and Talking cult. I don't know where the hell I'm going with this. Well, here I am. It is currently 2:34 p.m., so pretty early for me, honestly. I'm sorry if you hear some shit in the background. Thank you so much for joining me today. It is just me today. No Jesse, well, I introduced him as Jesse last episode, but his real name is Wilbur. I think I did say Wilbur, but yes, Wilbur, no Jesse, no Slim Shady, no MGK, no nothing. It's just me today, and no fucking chips either. Just water. You're gonna have to fucking live with that because times are tough. Inflation, recession, rising prices, rising gas prices. No, but I just ate breakfast, so yes, I did just say breakfast, yes. So I am not in the mood right now for eating some shit. So when I wake up, I like to immediately eat. I know some people don't do that. I know that some people are like, don't fucking eat until like 5 or 6, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Some people function like, completely fine, after waking up. It's pretty crazy. But here I am. Again, I just have water this time. Let me know what chips, what snack you're snacking on. Could be anything. Could be ice cream. Could be, I don't know, biscuits, dog biscuits. I don't fucking care. Do you, man, woman. Go ahead and email me, superjesusjackson@gmail.com. What you're snacking on. Leave a review in all the podcast platforms that I'm on, which is only Apple and Spotify, so... and I'm thinking I'm going to upload this to YouTube. I'm going to put some stupid screenshot or something and I might put the cover of the podcast. Yeah, I might do that and just put the audio there. Or I might just put some stupid cover, some stupid image, I don't know, of whatever we're talking about. Which reminds me, I got to get a little, little paper. That way I know what it is we're talking about. So, episode 31. Because I forget, because I upload this later, and then I end up forgetting what we talked about. And so when I write the description that you read on the podcast platform, sometimes I like to put in what we talk about, the things, all the variety of topics that we talk about. So, remember when I used to just fucking talk about one thing? That's interesting. Maybe I should do it with this one. Yeah, fuck it. Let's do it. That's just one fucking topic. Let's do it. Let's see if I can do it. And this time, the limit will be 20 to 25 minutes, okay? We're not going fucking 30 minutes. Usually when I'm with someone else, it's 30 minutes or something like that. But am I still recording? Yes, of course I'm fucking recording. That was wrong with me. Anyways, here we go. randomtopicgenerator.com. Actually, before we do that, let me get a little sip of water so you can get some ASMR action. And for some fucking reason, I'm congested. I'm like fucking sneezing everywhere. I don't know. I don't know if you heard any of that, but fuck it. All right. How often do you curse, and what's your go? I already did this. I'm so fucking serious. Do you text more or call more? Why? I think I have done this, but I'm going to answer it anyway. Because I feel like this can be a nice, long sort of topic. I can see already where we can branch out. For those of you sitting at home, do this exercise for yourself. Literally sit down, get a topic, and just kind of talk about it. Talk, within yourself for 20 to 30 minutes. See if you can elongate this conversation. Just by yourself. It's a good exercise. It's good improvisational exercise. It's good to kind of do this because you never know when you're going to be put on the spot like this, You never know you're going to be, you never know when you're going to be starting up a podcast in your room that no one listens to. You know, you never know when that's going to happen to you, so just be prepared. But do you text more or call more? Why? So obviously nowadays everything has changed. We text more than we call now. You know, like that's just how it is. With our family members, we probably call, you know, sometimes, you know, obviously grandpa, grandma, they'll call you, you know, aunts and uncles and shit like that. Maybe your mom, your dad, you know, if you're some college student, you know, studying abroad, or you're in a different state, or your family's separated, you know, you're going to be calling each other quite a bit if you live in different states. If you are within the same state, you probably won't be calling each other, you know, you'll find each other, you'll talk to each other and shit like that way, and you'll text most of the time. Obviously, texting is something we do more often than we call, but we just still do call, I think, as a people. But I do think calling is dying. I think, like, for example, I don't really use my cell phone a lot. I use Messenger, like, a lot. Facebook Messenger, like the phone call ability. I use that a lot with people that I really, you know, that I like or whatever. That's really what I use. Although phone, the only reason I don't really do a lot of phone calls these days is because the fucking audio quality sucks. You know, like, we haven't gotten HD audio. You know, you would think that, you know, we have HD radio, we got 4K, we got 8K now. Not 8K, 8K. You would think we would be upgrading our fucking cell phone, you know, service. You know, like, we'd be getting fucking, and I know we got 5G and shit like that, but when is HD phone call gonna be a thing? I don't know if that's a hardware thing. I don't know if the microphone in a phone has to be just better. And, you know, they can't upgrade that, because if they upgrade that, then phones are going to be like $2,000, or not $2,000, but probably $150 more or something like that. So they don't really want to do that. Or if it's a connection thing, you know, if it's just that is the sound of a telephone line, and that's what you're going to have to deal with. I don't fucking know. I'm not a hardware technician, nor am I an Apple person. When I say Apple person, I don't work for Apple. I have an Apple device, obviously. But, you know, but now there is a thing, you know, FaceTime, for example, videoing, you know, like with iPhone to iPhone, the quality is amazing. It's insane how good the quality is. But do it with another phone and you're going to be fucked. You know, so, but phone calls still, that's not bettering, you know, Facebook Messenger. Actually, no, well, there we go. I guess that answers my question, I guess. Well, Wi-Fi is just better than a telephone line, I guess. That's really the issue, because the microphone of a phone is way better than, you know, than we think it is. And Facebook Messenger is definitely allowed for that, because, fuck, the audio quality is way better on Facebook Messenger than it is on phone. I know Discord's really good. I think WhatsApp is good, too. So things are definitely up there, but, you know, calling, we live in a generation of people full of anxiety, you know, and I was listening to a podcast where they were talking about this, but it's true. I mean, our society is just, we try to avoid personal communication. We try to avoid communication at all times. We try to do everything around it, you know, like, that's just the way it is, you know. Everyone hates being in the moment, on the spot, communicating with someone. It's just we try to avoid it, you know. We have Uber Eats. We no longer want to go anywhere, you know. We just want shit to come to us. You know, and you fuck on your Uber, you know, you could fucking be like, I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk at all. I just want to get in the car and I want to get to my destination. Like, you know, think of it like in New York City with a fucking taxi. Like, I mean, the only way you could do that is by being up front with the person and being like, look, I don't want to talk, you know, but this time you have an app to avoid that confrontation, and you have the option to avoid the confrontation to tell the person to avoid confrontation, you know, to avoid communication. So it's pretty interesting. So that's the era that we live in today, and whether that's good or bad is beyond me. I mean, obviously on paper it's bad, but like, I don't know. I understand it. I mean, look, I fucking hate, you know, the awkwardness sometimes and shit like that. You know, it's just very fucked. But that's really a me thing, because I've met a couple people in my life that are used to talking. They come from a different generation where they're able to just talk about anything and everything that you can imagine, and they could just spur up conversation, and there's no awkward moment. And if there is an awkward moment, they fight through it, or they don't really care, or they don't let that hinder their communication with other people, which I think is pretty cool. I think that's very admirable. But, we just live in a different generation, and so texting is a perfect way to avoid communication, direct communication, right? It's the whole meme of, when someone calls you, you're just like, oh my God, why are you calling me? You could just text me, right? And, which is interesting. Calling to me, I've always liked calling. For example, when I would get to know a girl or whatever, I would want to call her. I don't want to text. Dude, that's fucked. You know what I mean? You don't learn anything really from someone by texting. It's, messaging someone is very dry. It can be very dry, which is why I tend to kind of adorn my text messages with either exclamation points or, punctuation in whatever way, or emojis, of course. And that's allowed for just less tension whenever because now I've done it so much, and we all do it so much, to the point where when someone just messages you something with a fucking period at the end or nothing at all, and it's just the sentence, it's just, you're just like, what the fuck? You feel attacked. You know what I mean? And that's just because we've been able to text so much now, where we have found ways to make texting now be more realistic, and so we have emotions and mannerisms associated to texting. I can imagine that when texting first came out, everyone didn't fucking use emojis, right? It was just, here's the sentence that I'm sending you with a question mark. That's it, and there's nothing, you don't feel attacked. Over time, people started developing, emojis and emoticons and shit like that, and emoji before the emoji, the XDs and the colon parenthesis, so it's, that is a thing, and over time, then we got emojis and shit like that, and now here we are. But it makes sense, at first it wasn't bad. Everyone just did the same thing. Everyone was just like, this is what we do, and this is how we communicate. There's nothing awkward. There's no tension. But as we started doing it more and getting more used to it and shit like that, and having more serious conversations through texting, people were like, fuck, now we're instilling our humanity and our ways of communication, that we normally would do through text. And then texting started to take shape, and we started to have now preconceived notions of certain forms of texting, So when it comes to that, yeah, that's why I usually put exclamation points or whatever the fuck, or, here and there, not all the time, of course, but, I put shit here and there to make it more fun. I laugh a lot more when I'm texting, just because it's very easy to just send something and have it come across as serious, so it's really, it's really interesting, but calling is fuck, dude. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I do prefer to text for the most part when it comes to people that I already know or shit like that, obviously my significant other, I'll call her, but yeah, if it's something else, fuck, dude, if I can help it, fucking text me, it's just, I just don't want to go through it. I don't want to go, even family, I rarely really call my family. I rarely even text them, for God's sakes. So, it's, but we have more, obviously, face-to-face conversation, obviously. So, and that's just a generational thing, I guess. I think that, the idea of voicemails, for example, I love, when I'm calling someone and I just hope they don't answer, so I could just fucking go straight to voicemail. That's the person that I am, it's crazy. And I listen to voicemails. There's people that fucking still don't listen to voicemails. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I listen to my voicemails, okay? Because I know that you don't want to fucking talk to me, so, I don't answer. And number one, also, everyone just has their phone on silent. Kids, when they go to school, they silence their phones. That's what I did. That's how I missed a lot of shit. When I go to work, I silence my phone. No one wants to be hearing your fucking sounds that are coming out of your phone. And, when you think about it, when everyone started getting their phones at first, the Motorola Razors and the Blackberries and shit like that, we'd like to put fun ringtones, whenever we got a text or whenever we got a call or whatever. As a kid, it was as a young teenager, a very young teenager, I was like, oh my God, like when I was like, 11, 12 or something like that, I was like, oh God, like I got to put ringtones or whatever. That was my way of feeling older, feeling like I'm upgrading, is when I'm like, oh, I'm going to get this ringtone or this text thing, and that was the thing, and when I would text, like I just, I would only text like people in my immediate vicinity, but I wasn't texting friends usually, occasionally. But I would put the ringtone and it'd fucking be great. It would be awesome, But then as you started growing up, as everyone started growing up, I guess, society-wise, and we started getting used to phones and the digital age and stuff like that, we're like, fuck, dude, I don't want to make noise. I just don't. I just, just fucking be quiet. Everyone fucking stay in their lane. Don't fucking make noise with your phone. Fuck it, And so that's kind of what happened. And, COVID just came and just accelerated everything. We were already moving towards this type of isolated, way of communication, but COVID just accelerated it even more. Schools now are more keen to do hybrid classes, where it's half Zoom, half in person and shit like that. Like schools now they're a little bit more prepared to do that, and eventually, hopefully not, but one day the world will maybe go that route, and now COVID has just accelerated us further into that future. And obviously all the app things, what is it? The no contact delivery, when you get Uber Eats or whatever the fuck, like it didn't used to be like that before COVID, right? Like, people were used to you opening the door, getting the food, and now you can still do that, but usually it is no contact delivery now for the most part, right? And people are like, well, fuck, if I don't have to see the person and don't have to fucking engage, well, fuck it. And it's a very egotistical way of living life, It's just very like, I want to be in my shell, fuck, new experiences, fuck conversating with people. It's just anxiety and fear of the unknown, and that's what has been plaguing humanity ever since the dawn of fucking time, dude. Like, everything is fucking connected, everything is related to each other, it's fucking calling that number that you need to call, but you don't want to fucking actually have a conversation, is the darkness, is the unknown. And you're like, fuck, if I can avoid that and just leave a voicemail or just text and be as far away from this unknown as possible, then so be it, and that's the way that we've been structuring our lives for the past, decade, I would say, past 5 years or so, it's just maybe even more. I mean, we've been moving towards this fucking future, obviously now, we don't like to go to theaters anymore. We like to fucking sit on Netflix and binge fucking Breaking Bad and Black Mirror and all that shit. Although movies are still doing very well, and movies are, thank God, they're a medium that are still not getting shit on, and there's still money to be made there, but usually it's really just the blockbuster movies. When you think of more artiste movies, people don't go see those at the theaters, which sucks, and so now it just takes it takes this virality, to get people together, whether it's through music, whether it's through Spider-Man, No Way Home or whatever the fuck. And, the internet has to be along with it too. And everyone in the internet on Twitter has to be hashtagging it or whatever. Then we get together as a people, When you look at the Black Lives Matter movement, the media, when everything just gets ramped up digitally, that's when we come together, But so it's fucked. And then things that, we should get together on don't get fucking, viral on social media. And then no one gives a fuck and no one attends physically, So it's fucked. I mean, we live in an interesting world. I'm kind of in the middle, like I am not fully into this whole idea where we just never talk to each other. We never communicate with each other. It's part of the reason why social media is so hostile and so toxic, because people sitting behind a phone screen or a computer screen are safe in their fucking little basements with their keyboards, trolling the shit out of you, and saying a bunch of absurd shit. And it's just, and that's a product also of bad parenting and bad communication and broken families and shit like that. And we can get deeper into the weeds of these problems that have facilitated this really dangerous, non-communicative way of living our lives. So trying to avoid confrontation, avoiding communication, personal communications at all costs. The masks have definitely helped with that. We cover half of our face now. It's like, fuck, like, we now we don't even want to talk to each other. Now we don't even want to, and now we put a mask over our mouths to signify even further we don't want to talk. We don't want to get close, COVID has definitely separated us even further, literally and metaphorically. So this is a big topic, and I'm glad I this one was the topic because it's pretty big and we can go to many angles and stuff like that. But yeah, I think at the bottom of the end of the day, yeah, I text more usually with strangers or people that I just don't really want to talk to or whatever, and I call the people that I want to call. But usually, here's what's even better is I don't even fucking do that most of the time. I just hang out with them. You know what I mean? We go out to eat, and I do think that that's still very much a thing. People who, when you find someone, when you click with someone, that still hasn't disappeared in our society. We've just become much more hostile towards strangers. But for people that we have the ability to get to know and stuff like that, we get really comfortable. We invite them over. We still have sleepovers. We still go to restaurants and eat and shit like that. So that's not disappearing. But to say that this kind of distanced way of communication and this fear of the unknown is still not prevalent in our society, or at least it's becoming more prevalent now more than ever. So to say that it's not a thing, that would be untrue. I mean, it's definitely a thing. So very, very interesting here. And I don't know, I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Do you text more or call more? Calls can be kind of, awkward, especially towards the end, whenever you call someone for something, or whenever you do get a call from someone just wanting to catch up or whatever, you sit there and you're talking and shit like that. And you're like, fuck, I have like stuff to do, but like, I don't really want to cut it off. And that's another thing too, is, you sit there and you don't even want to be in that situation answering this call and talking to this person. And to add on to this, you don't have the assertiveness to fucking say, look, I have shit to do. I'm sorry, I have to go. And it's just this snowball. It's this pile of shit, because number one, you don't have the assertiveness to just call them and actually engage with them because fucking you're awkward and you're a mess and you're a nervous mess and all this shit and fear of the unknown and digital age and all this shit, right? And so when you put yourself in that position unwillingly, that non-assertiveness still it permeates in that conversation, and you don't have the ability to be like, look, I don't want to talk to you. You don't have the assertiveness to say, I don't want to be here right now. I have to go do stuff. Bye. You don't want to say that, so you go on and on and on, and the other person's fucking talking and talking, and you're just like, fuck, like, I really gotta go, but like, and you sit there and you just fucking take it. And that's a product of the fucking very reason why you don't want to be in there in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, so it's very interesting. Like, it's flaws just fucking tangle into each other, and if you don't fucking correct shit at the very core, the problems will multiply. So that's my rant. I hope that made sense, and look, again, I'm not advocating for either or. I think both are very important ways of going about life. I think they both have a place in life, but yeah, I do think that I would like to be more assertive. I would like to be more engaging. I would like to be less afraid of saying hi to someone. Or like when you're seeing someone on the street that you don't want to fucking go and talk to them. You don't want to do that. You don't want to be like, hi, I know you from somewhere. You don't want to do that. You want to avoid them. What do? You hide. You fucking move away. You walk away. It's fucking pathetic, but that's what we do. And part of it is, fine. Part of it makes sense. And the other part of it is like, fuck, dude, why don't you have the balls to do this? We maybe should have the balls to do it. Stop being cowards. Talk to each other. Be human. So I don't know. That's my rant. At the end of the day, I'm a fucking mess too. So I totally get it. But anyways, that was episode 31 of Chips and Talk. This will go up on YouTube. It will. Goddammit. And this will be up on Spotify and Apple. And well, obviously this because you're listening to it. So if it's your birthday, happy fucking birthday to you. If it's your day, hope you're having a good day. If it's your night, I hope you're having a good night. And if it's the middle of the day, just get through it. But hope you're having a good middle of the day. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. It means the world. Stay tuned to the next episode, and go subscribe to my YouTube channel, Super Jesus Jackson. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Oh, I'm not ending shit correctly. Take care, stay safe, and until next time, I love you.